are two ways to improve college completion rates that we cannot afford to do. One is to become more selective and limit access to higher education, and the other is to lower our standards. We can't do either one of those. We have to maintain high standards, and we have to keep access open to all of our students. In fact, Martha's fond of saying we need to educate the top 100% of our students. And I'll point you all to another project, Achieving the Dream Community Colleges Counts, which is focused on maintaining access while improving quality. So there are some projects underway that can help us to do this.
Thank you. Other questions?
Can you hear me? I am the head of a nonprofit initiative to bring civics back to all the grades, K through 12. I found myself in front of a group of superintendents in California and asked them to dispel an urban myth for me. Is it true that we're asking for trig and calculus to get out of high school? And they said yes. I said, why? They said, well, there are certain technologies that are so complex. And I said, when the Malaysian dictator offers the American high school graduate 7 times his starting salary, what keeps him here? And they didn't have an answer. And they said, what? I said, love of country, devotion to the ideals of America, which are not taught anymore at all in public education. And 40% of the state's mandates for public education is to raise up good citizenship. I would say that your lack of staffing in comparison to other departments can be overcome as soon as the urgency of this problem is recognized. And if we do not recognize that we don't know how to run a Republican democracy, and everyone in the world knows America is a miracle except Americans because we don't learn it, then all you have to do is rediscover the $1-a-year man. And there will be people, teachers, educators, authors, etc., who would volunteer their talents and expertise as if they were at war. One of the things that your administration should do is establish a workforce that establishes a recognized standard methodology of research on the internet so that people know how to use this greatest tool. If we wait until college, we've lost them. They're already a niche group, and they are exactly why we came here. We came here to get away from caste and class systems. We have to make our kids fall in love with America. And we do that by teaching them how to think with clarity and logic, and how to tell the tale of the Enlightenment and the Constitution, and to tell it so well that you reinvigorate the pleasure of learning and why we were, for so long, the most admired country in the world. That was not for no reason.
Is there a question?
Yeah, would you?
No.
Would you please?
No, but I hope you heard what I said.
We did. Excuse me. Would the gentleman just identify himself and his organization, please?
My name is Richard Dreyfuss, and the organization is called the Dreyfuss Initiative, and it's on the web at thedreyfussinitiative.org.
Yes. Thank you very much. Linda, if you could get these.
This is a question.
Please identify yourself.
Do I have to? I'm Mike Goldstein. I'm a Washington higher education lawyer, and I also carry Jimmy's bags. The administration's initiatives in higher education are very exciting and may make dramatic change, but by far the largest amount of federal money goes into the student aid programs. And those are creatures of the 1960s, of the Great Society, when the Xerox machine was new technology. how are those programs going to be adapted to the new forms of learning that don't have students in classrooms, that have whole different models of what it means to learn, what it means to assess knowledge, what it means to assess outcomes?
Well, we have to start by using what we have in a better way. So, for example, and this goes back to, I think, the former statement that Mr. Dreyfus made about taking existing systems. How do you take a system of education and embed the kinds of expectations and deliverables that we want out of that system? So we have a system of federal student aid, as I said. It's a model for getting low-income, disadvantaged people into higher education. It's a system that has brought hundreds of thousands. We've had a 20% increase since we've shown a spotlight on the changes we've been making in this first 8 months. We had a 20% increase in applications from low-income students in America. So how can we take that model, and it's an old technology, so it needs to be ramped up, and I think this is again a challenge to all of you. When we look at the National Technology Plan, you can weigh in on that, but we have to take these existing systems and ramp them up. How can we take the existing system of education across America? I don't want to visit a Jemez reservation and see computers in a closet with teachers that don't know how to use them. What a shame from those students that are using, that are already exposed to technology. So we've got to take these, we've got to really build on public-private partnerships to do a whole lot more. And I think, if you can weigh in with other people on our technological infrastructure and look at broadband and look at social learning networks and digital media and other ways that we connect the faculty. One of the things with the question before about civics and love of country, what a beautiful application. How can we leverage Facebook social networks to get faculty? I know, at least in our schools, when we had political science and history classes and so on, I know the faculty that are imbuing a love of country in their students. I can point to Dolores Davison at Foothill College. Every student coming out of her class loves America in a new and different way because they were exposed to her class and she knew what she was doing and she knew how to do that. We need to make that pervasive. We need to embed the best teaching and learning in front of everyone in this country. And we don't have that yet, and that's something we're very interested in doing. You'll hear Arnie Duncan talking about, how to create a campaign around teaching and learning. We were in a classroom yesterday, or 2 days ago, Tuesday at Banneker High School. It's a public high school in Washington, D.C. And he was in a dialogue with Dr. Jill Biden, talking about education and unveiling the simplified federal student aid process. We've basically there used information the government already had and cut out half of the questions that people had to fill out in the last 30 years in a federal student aid application. We didn't need that. We could simplify that. We could become more efficient and then redirect those dollars to new kinds of applications. So he asked this class at Banneker, what is it that's new and different? Why is this school so exciting to you? Well, number one, you saw this slide on engagement. These students go through the curriculum together. They're in a learning community. They're using technology. One of the students, a young African-American senior, said, at this school, it's okay to be smart. And I was sitting there listening to, every school should be, it's okay to be smart in this school. And that's the challenge to teachers and principals. We have got to get this kind of culture embedded in every school, and we can use these social networks, these learning theories, new learning theories, the digital age, and all the new media that all of you are exposed to really build back the kind of curriculum we need and want and expect for every student to have, so we have those students graduating from high school with a sense of civic responsibility, with the ability to think critically, the ability to write. They don't have to write a 30-page paper. That would be great. They can do that in college, but at least a 15-page paper that's coherent, that is well written, and that they're proud of, and that their families will be very proud of as they go forward. So anyway, sorry for the long-winded answer, but
it's an inspiring answer.
Well, thank you.